So
both cameras on now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, you're live.
Well, it is 9 o'clock Arizona time, Pacific Standard Time. And we're going live. Hope you guys can hear us. We're doing it again from inside. We've got both cameras going. I think your daughter's waving at you over there. So if something happens with our signal, this is kind of what we do every time. If something happens with the signal here on YouTube Live, we'll have the backup camera that I'll get processed hopefully by the end of the weekend, and we'll get it on the YouTube channel by the end of the weekend. Hopefully this will hold up and we won't have any issues with it, and it'll go live soon as we're done. So we got people starting to chime in. Excellent. Good. So these first few minutes we normally kind of wait for people to come in, and we do like a little intro thing. So we've got we don't have any sawdust creating demo, but I've got some information that I want to go over with you. I think might be helpful. But the first thing we're going to do is get an update from this guy. So you guys have been asking, Dad?
Yeah, well, it's live training session, so we're still alive. I've been out of the hospital a couple of days now. For those of you who didn't know, I've had my left knee replaced, complete replacement. So I'm really, a couple of days out of the hospital, I'm really weak, and my knee hurts like blazes, but I've got a walker here, and I use that quite often. In fact, every time I'm on my feet, I use it. If I'm not in my chair or in my bed. But it's like last time. It took a couple of weeks for it to really get to where I could walk without this thing. So it's been a couple of days out of the hospital now. So I figure, probably by the middle of next month, I should be moving around pretty good. I've got a physical therapist coming out, working with me and helping me do the exercises for my knees. So
How's your right knee doing?
my right knee is just about recovered. It's probably about maybe 90%. It's only been 3 months, and usually takes 5 or 6 months for it to recover. It's only been 3 months on my right knee, but I made such good progress that the doctor decided after 3 months he could go ahead and do the left knee. So that's the situation. So.
Okay. Good.
And I'm not going to sit here and take up space. As soon as I'm done with the update and we get everything lined out here, then I'm going to pull out of here, and takes me a minute to get up and get moving, but I'll pull out of here and let Eric take over.
And then you're coming back for the Q&A.
I'll come back for the for a giveaway when we have the giveaway, and I'll come back
We do a Q&A after
for
that.
the Q&A afterwards.
Yep.
And we are going to give stuff away, right?
Yep. We've got 2 giveaways today. So, all right.
So I'll see if I can't.
Any comments or questions for?
No, people just saying it's good to see you. Glad you're doing good.
All right.
Well, it's good to be seen.
All right.
So that's me getting up. So I'll be out of the picture now.
All right, Dad. We'll call you back in a little bit.
All right, son.
Thank you. All right. So,
So let me see. We got people saying hi.
hi guys.
Let's see. Phoenix, North Carolina, Las Vegas, Juniper, Florida. Deborah Oceanvine. Hi guys. Hi Frank. Michigan, Las Vegas,
Wow.
England, Ireland, Tennessee,
England and Ireland.
Alabama.
Man, it's got to be
South Dakota, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Seattle,
terrific. Well, thanks, guys.
Minnesota.
We appreciate you taking your Saturday, an hour out of your Saturday, and joining us. I'm kind of going back and forth between cameras, but I think this one, hopefully, the iPhone will hold up. Anyway, thanks so much, guys, for spending some time with us. I want to go over actually several different things today. Let me get my notes. Hang on. I got just all kinds of stuff to share. So if you guys have been watching for a while over the last few months, you've known that Vicky and I have been doing quite a bit of stuff with live edge, slabs and different pieces. Vicky's got a brand new project that she just finished up. I'll pull it out here and brag on it a little bit. She's making cutting boards for her sisters. And this is one that she did that you'll see actually Monday's video coming up in a couple days will be on the making of this. It turned out really good. This is cherry, super hard. It was really interesting to carve. It wasn't hard to carve from being able to hold a straight line standpoint. It was easy as far as that goes. It's just really a hard board. Any of you guys that have made carved signs out of cherry, it was actually the first time I'd ever carved cherry. It's very solid, and I think it would dull the bits pretty fast. But anyway, so I carved this in here, and then Vicky inlaid it or poured purple resin in there, kind of match her sister's kitchen. Anyway, came out really good. It's got the little rubber feet on the back, and super happy with it. But in regards to this, she had to, or we had to actually flatten it out because this was a big long slab, and we cut it into pieces, and then we had to kind of flatten it out. We actually cut it to size or close to size first. We actually put some bevels on the back too, make it easier to pick up and move around. Anyway, Vicky did a fantastic job on this. Everybody say, congratulations, Vicky. You did great.
Thank you.
Anyway, so if you guys haven't seen the way we flatten out slabs and stuff is back on, let me see, video 279. I made a router sled and we flattened it out, and I'm going to bring the sled. I got it right here. I'm going to put it up on the table, hopefully without dropping it.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Laura.
Good job, guys. So here is the sled. This is, I don't know, what is this? About 25 inches by a little over 4 foot long, all out of 3/4 inch MDF. And then the piece that goes on here, so that the slab will lay here, and depending on the thickness of your slab, you may have to jack this up, or you may have to pull your piece up by putting an extra piece under there. We put a rubber mat under there, but I think on those, I think we actually had to put a piece of 1/2 inch MDF to build it up enough so that the bit would reach it. So here is what I call the carriage that the router slides in. So there's several different things that I had to do. If you go back and watch 279, this slot was just barely bigger than 3/4 of an inch. But what I did was, and here is the bit that I used on that, back on 279. I don't know if you can even see this thing.
Give me a sec.
But it's basically 3/4 of an inch. It's a 1/4 inch shank. And it actually worked okay. Huh? That arm? Okay. It actually worked okay, and you'll see that on 279. But what I didn't like about it is that because it was 1/4 inch shank, and you can see, and let me grab my collet, you can see where it's discolored right here. Well, it's actually not just discolored, but it's actually scarred. This was the collet. That's how far it was into the collet, which really is not that safe. I was aware of it, so I was paying attention, but so it really made me nervous if I'm going to do a bunch of flattening, which we've got a lot more to do because Vicky's doing some stuff. I've got some more slabs. So what I decided to do is change this out and go with a 1/2 inch collet and get a 1/2 inch cutter. And that's what I did. So let me show you that.
The beast.
Yeah. Look at this mamma jamma. That's the cutter.
Tip it down just a smidge. So you can cut.
That's the cutter that we got in there now. And let me tell you, boys and girls, that creates a lot of sawdust.
That one's scary.
Yeah, and it was scary, and I kind of took my time with it. But there's lots of things. It's so much safer. I've got this tightened in there, but it's in there probably an inch at least into that collet. So there's several reasons for that. Number one, this one I didn't feel comfortable with, and if you go back and watch 279, you'll hear some chatter in the bit itself, and that's just because number one, it's 1/4 inch shank, and number two, it wasn't in there all the way. And as soon as I pulled this out and felt that scarring, it's like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. So we got a 1/2 inch shaft, a 2 inch wide cut. So there's several things that I had to adjust on my setup in order to make this cutter work. First things first is my slot was only 3/4 of an inch wide. That was first. So I needed to open this up to over 2 inches so that the bit would go through. That was so the way I did that is I actually used the bit. I used this bit to open it up. So then I presented me another problem. The other problem is this is the base that I normally keep on my 618 router now. This is a special base that we make. Well, obviously the hole ain't big enough for that. This is only 1.5 inch hole. That's a 2 inch cutter, so that wouldn't go through the hole. So I wanted to go back to the original base that the 618 came with. Again, hole's way too small. I think it's about 1.25 inches. Yeah, it is 1.25 inches. So that wouldn't work. So then I thought, well, I'm going to have to make a custom base for this thing, which I was getting ready to do. But then I kind of thought about it again, and I realized since this is going to be sliding in here, let me close that up. Why do I even need a base plate on there at all? So I just left it off. I just completely removed the base plate, and I used it just like it is, so I didn't have to make. And that actually gave me a little bit closer to my material anyway. So that solved that problem. I put the handles back on of my 618 base. Normally those aren't there when I'm carving signs with this because they get in the way, so I remove these handles. But I wanted them on there for doing this sled. So that was first problem that I solved is excuse me, is taking that base plate. The other advantage that I didn't realize at the time is if you look at this base plate, I made this, there's a little bit of slop in there with this base plate, but because this base plate is about 1/4 inch actually bigger in diameter than the actual housing, it's about 1/8 of an inch. Then what happened is I had a little bit more slop in there, which for me was good because what I did to open up that hole, I went down one side and then I moved it over and I went down the other side and then took off the rest, which means that my slot is now a little bit bigger than 2 inches. I think it's probably about 2 1/8. It's actually about 2 1/4. 2 3/16. Anyway, so then I knew that wherever this goes, I knew that router bit was not going to hit my the edge of my slot. So that had that issue solved. The other thing is too, you guys know if you've been watching for any time at all, I always say I run my routers at full speed if I'm cutting wood. Well, that's not really the case when you're running with a big bit like this, even if you are cutting wood. So the cool thing is the 618 is variable speed, so I backed it down. The actual cutter instructions, this is the cutter, this cutter, it says that I need to run it between, for a 1/2 inch shank, or excuse me, 1/2 inch shank, I need to run it at about 18 to 22,000. Yeah, for the 2 inch bit. So I had to back the speed down, and that really helped. The other thing that I found, again, another thing that I had never done before, is now I knew with this aluminum just sliding on here, maybe it wouldn't slide as good as the acrylic sliding on there. And I didn't want any friction going on there at all. Well, I've been watching Izzy Swan for years, and I finally decided to try what he uses, which is a paste wax. And so I actually put paste wax down in here, and then on the bottom of my aluminum, and man alive, did it work great. In fact, it's still on there. You can see that thing slides it slides beautifully. As a matter of fact, and I'm going to show this later on, I actually used some of this, I actually use some of this now on my base plates when I'm carving. I haven't showed it. This is the first time I've ever showed it because I just picked it up about a week ago. But I'm considering switching out my silicone spray on my base plates for some of this stuff. Now you want to be careful down in the holes that it doesn't pack up down in there and smear it across your board. But if you put it on there and just kind of wipe it off, I think this may be a really good alternative to the silicone spray. So it worked. I was really super happy with the way it worked out. So let me see. What else do I have? Oh yeah. The other thing that we found, and now the funny thing is, this whole process when we were leveling that, we didn't really make a video on it for YouTube at all. I did a really short video on Instagram, on my Instagram account. And what we found out is that when we were first doing it, number one, I was really apprehensive with this bit. There ain't a whole lot that scares me when it comes to routers, but I was really careful. This is by far the biggest bit I've ever used. So I wanted to really take my time. It probably took me to get through this 3/4 inch all the way through, probably took me, 6-7 passes. I just took my time. I wanted to get used to this thing.
Just real quick, we have Lacey Horinka, from, just throwing this out there, from Budapest, Hungary.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Hi, Lacey.
Hi, Lacey. Thank you for joining us.
We'll answer all the questions. We're not ignoring you. We'll answer all the questions in a Q&A.
Yeah,
so.
we'll get to all the questions, guys. So if we somehow lose them, once we go into well, Vicky's got them all. So, but anyway, what we did find, and if you guys do a lot of this, you probably already know this. What we found is that when I first started, I was probably taking 1 3/4 inch passes at a time. I'd take 1 3/4 inch, just a little bit at a time, and then move over 1 3/4 inch and take another pass. What we found is that we were getting ridges. It wasn't bad. It was certainly sandable, all of that, no problem there. But what we found is that every time we took a pass, it left a ridge where we had just left. So when I backed it down and was right in the center, only taking 1 inch at a time, it was it completely smoothed out, and we didn't get those ridges. So that's just a kind of a tip that we found out, just in what we were doing. So on this one, rather than taking 3/8 to a 1/2 inch at a time, we were now taking a full 1 inch or a little bit more at a shot. And man, this bit just worked like a charm. And the router is plenty powerful enough. I didn't try and take and get it all in one pass or one shot all the way down. I took it a little bit at a time, even though I think the router could have definitely done it. Now, the thing that I wanted to say too is that I haven't done, again, we have not done a YouTube video on this process, but I've got a lot more stuff that I need to flatten down. If you guys want to see that, if you want a video on that, just let me know. Let Vicky know there, or shoot me an email. If you want to see a video of this actually in process and going over this again and flattening a slab.
Real
Yes.
quick, Susan Alexander asked a question because I think it's a good question.
Yeah.
Hi, Morgan. She has a 611 router. Will that router bit fit in the 611? Can
No.
you use it?
No. The 611 is a trim router, and it's really, I don't believe you can buy a 1/2 inch collet. See, this little thing right here is quarter-inch collet. I think, and this won't even fit in a 611. It's a completely different deal. But I don't think you can get a half-inch collet for a 611. I may be wrong on that, but even if I'm right, I would never put this bit in a 611. It's way, way too much. I wouldn't even, honestly, I don't think I'd even put that in a 611. If you're taking, you could if you're taking really, really thin passes. But no, you really need a full-size router to do something like this. Preferably the 618, I think this thing is like 2.5 horse. So preferably at least a 2-horse router. You might get by with less than that, but I would definitely not try anything like this in a 611. It's just too small. Or any of the trim routers, honestly. The Rigids or the Makitas or the Bosch, none of them. I wouldn't put this in any of those, even if you could get a half-inch collet, which I don't think you can, but I may be wrong on that. It's just not designed for that. It's just way too much power for that, or not enough power for that bit. Let's see. I think that is pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I know we've got a bunch of questions we want to get to, so let's move on with our thing.
Exeter, UK. Hi, John Kirkham.
Hey, John. We got people from all over.
Yeah.
You said Morgan, so that must be Morgan Stoltz in Sweden. How you doing, my friend? All right, guys, I'm going to tear this down again. You've got questions on this, and let me know if you want to see a video on it.
Yeah, they're saying yes.
Okay, definitely. I got a piece of wood you guys are going to flip over. I haven't showed it. I haven't even talked about it.
You're not going to say what.
And I'm not going to say what it is, but I picked up a slab the other day when Vicky got her table slab, which is absolutely amazing. You guys will see that in the future. But I picked up a slab of stuff that I had never seen before, and it's absolutely probably the most beautiful piece of wood I've ever seen in my life. Anyway.
Yep.
So I'll tease you with that.
He's not sure what he's going to do with it.
I don't even know what I'm going to do with it.
Mine that I bought is a spalted elm, and I'm going to be making my dining room table.
Yeah, Vicky got a slab of spalted elm that is absolutely amazing. But this other piece that I got, oh my lord. I don't even know if I want to give it. I think I want to keep it for myself.
You got to make something for us.
Oh man, it's just amazing. All right, I'm going to set this
we
back here.
got Dave coming back. Right, Dave, want to get his chair over?
Yeah.
For the drawing. And
We're not gonna
You didn't get much of a nap, did you?
Oh, I was listening.
Oh, okay.
okay.
I had my eyes closed, but I was listening to all you were saying.
Okay.
So, this is what we're going to give away, but we're not going to open it up and take them out. It's just going to be a guess.
All right.
All right, so
They're mixed up.
so what we've got, this is for a premium member, right?
Yeah, first one's premium member.
It's just it's a miscellaneous set of templates. There's how many? 10?
10.
There's 10 layout templates in here, and we're gonna send them to one of our premium members. Uh-oh. What happened? You picked one and threw it back?
Well,
that ain't fair.
Hold on a minute.
I wanted
guys.
them to know that I wasn't looking down and they're picking one out.
Okay. You want me to hold the bucket?
Picking one at random.
Okay. Well, that person will never know, fortunately.
Right. It may be the same one. I don't know.
All right. What's the number?
Ready? 136.
One, 3, 6. Vince Guess.
Vince
Okay.
Guess.
Vince. All right, Vince. There's a
Gee.
set pattern
Hey.
for you.
Oh, you want me to hold it?
We'll get those out in the mail for you probably on
1,
Monday.
3, 6. Vince Guess.
All right. Congratulations, Vince. We'll shoot those out to you right away.
Okay, so
So that's. We'll
Oh.
put that aside.
Laura Lacey says she loves your T-shirt.
Oh,
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and stay here if you're okay with it? Stay here.
yeah.
He's gonna show this, and then we're gonna start with the second drawing
Sure.
of the question.
Well, I'll go ahead and sit down. Go ahead and
Eric?
do what you do. It
Okay.
takes me a couple minutes to get set down here.
Well, I want to make sure your chair is in the right position.
Yeah, I have to get everything in the right place here. Then I have to make sure my leg is out, and it's a pain. But I'm still alive. What the hell?
Could be worse. All right.
This is true.
All right. So, the template of the month.
Okay, I'm set.
All right. Here is the template of the month, guys. In time for October.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Can you show? Okay, so that's it.
That's it.
Hold on. I'm doing 2 cameras here.
Now this one is special. Vicky's never done one like this before.
Show it on the other side. Or
It's actually a 2-piece. The middle comes out. It's 2-piece. So I haven't posted a video, but I filmed a video of carving this, and it gets a little tricky with some of the lines. But next Friday, it's not up yet, but it'll be video 321. So this piece of paper will go in every one of these that you get to let you know to watch 321 on how I carve it. You can have your own way. Yeah. So what I mean by 2 pieces, let me show you. There's the first piece, and there's the second piece. What?
let's see, maybe hold it down closer to the table. Just you can't really.
Okay.
There you go.
Will that show?
Yeah.
Okay. So the cool thing is,
Hold it up.
oh, the cool thing is, if you wanted to use just the middle piece, this is almost like it's almost like the Punisher
Yeah.
logo. It's almost kind of like that. So if you want to use both pieces, but anyway, it's a little tricky on how to carve. I had to play with it a little bit, but here's what it looks like when it's all carved, at least the way I did it. And it actually came out pretty good. I was really happy with it. So again, if you guys want to see what it looks like, they won't be up until Friday, but next Friday, number 321 will show you exactly all the details and the ins and outs of how to carve it. I was really happy with the way it came out.
Okay. All right. So.
Yeah? Okay. All right.
You
So-
hand me my water.
We'll
all
get
right,
that
so
out of the way.
Before we go any further,
Thank you.
we are going to have another drawing for a T-shirt, a Make-A-Wood Sign T-shirt. So this is for all the viewers watching. Anybody that's watching,
That's it.
This is an extra large.
well, that's what we're giving away. It's all
Yeah.
extra large.
Yeah. All I was going to say is if they want me to sign it,
Yes.
then they'll be getting an extra large because it'll be signed.
Right. Okay. So let's see the word that you guys need to post, and then we'll pick a number. Which one I'm going to give away?
The word.
Let me explain.
Okay.
So everybody that's watching,
Whatever
send me a
it's for.
message. Send me a message. Just type Halloween. Just type Halloween. Everybody type Halloween, and then I will go in and I will select one
How
of
do you
the
spell Halloween? I always get that wrong.
Halloween.
H-A?
Halloween.
Okay.
All right.
If
so,
they misspell it, are they disqualified?
no,
Okay.
nope,
All right.
nope.
Good.
So we're just going to let you kind of do that, and we are also going to start the question and answers. So
Bring it on, people.
bring it on.
We're
All right,
ready.
so you guys keep typing. I'm going to go back up here. Let's see. Good morning, guys. Let's see. Everybody's saying hi.
Hi, everybody.
Michigan, Vegas, England, Ireland, Tennessee. Yep, we did all that. I just got to keep scrolling through them, so bear with. Northern Minnesota. Too bad about our Vikings, he says.
Yeah.
It's a typical.
But you know what? At least they played better against the Rams than they did against the Bills. Oh my gosh, that Bills game was embarrassing. But they did show, I'll tell you, those Rams, holy moly, that was a game.
Luther. I'm not going to try to say his name. He says, Vicky, I'm stealing your idea. That cutting board looks awesome. Thank you. What is true says, question, why do you use the sled as opposed to a planer joiner?
Well, because I do have a planer, but I've only got a 12-inch planer. So almost everything that we have is wider than 12-inch. We actually had a couple pieces that came off of that was within 12-inch, so we did use the planer. But almost everything else is too large to fit through our planer. We don't have a big planer.
Okay, Judge FLA, I'm not sure, says, does it matter which direction the router moves, right to left versus left to right? I think when you're going on the sled.
No, because I would cut in both. I have the piece that's in there. It's going cross grain, and it's running this way, and your router is running. Are you talking about with the sled?
I
Yeah.
think.
If you're talking about with the sled, it's going cross grain, and I can go both directions, pushing and pulling.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter.
It really doesn't
equally
make a
well
difference.
in either direction.
Yeah, it really doesn't make a difference.
Okay, why not CNC says I use plain old pledge furniture polish on everything. Planer beds, saws, table, saw
Yeah.
tables, etc.
You can absolutely do that.
A lot of people said they would like to see you do it on YouTube.
Okay, I definitely will.
Jerome Bowman says he doesn't use any other social media.
Well, this is YouTube though.
I'm just
Yeah,
reading.
no, I'll get a video done. We've got some more flattening of slabs, so I'll definitely do a video on it.
Okay, Deborah asks, what finish do I use on the cutting boards? I use the butcher's block.
Like
Gosh darn it.
cutting board oil.
Cutting board oil and conditioner.
Yeah, it's the same stuff you used on the polenta
On the
board.
polenta board. But
that we did.
you will also see it on the video where I show
Yeah,
where
you'll-
I make the board.
You'll see it on Monday's video.
Yes. Let's see. There are a lot of people said it's good to see you, Dave.
Well, it's good to be seen, considering the alternative.
Al Jones from Northwest Arkansas says, hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, we are.
Kai Hamilton said he built a sleigh like that and uses it a lot.
Oh, it's once you do it, man, it's if you work with a lot of stuff that's uneven, man, it really makes a difference.
Okay, Lost Soul 517 says, just saw you guys first time the other day. Just started woodworking and I'm finding your advice and tips for signs great.
Well,
Well,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for
Glad,
watching
glad to have you aboard.
and the kind words.
Okay, goodness. Have a lot of Halloween. Hi, Don. Don Gordon.
Don Borden. How you doing, Don? When are you guys gonna come over? And you and your lady gonna come over and visit us? We've been waiting.
How many times can you type Halloween? I don't know.
Oh,
That's
oh, that sounds like it came from Dawn.
It probably did. No, let's see. Brian Hafner. Have you all ever tried using the powdered dyes? I am considering trying in many great reviews. Are you talking about powdered dyes for the resin?
Because that's what all Vicky uses.
That's all I use.
The Black Diamond. That's the brand, isn't it? Black Diamond.
Black Diamond,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. They work really good.
Powdered dyes for stains. Ever tried them?
No, see, here's the thing is, and I plead ignorance on this. I hardly ever use stain at all. I would rather pick a piece of wood that I know is going to look good when I get done with it. Now the exception to that is that spray stain by Krylon that I just spray. Literally, I spray it on. It's a spray can. I spray it on, and I only use that really on pine. But other than that. And I don't use it all the time on pine. Other than that, I'll use redwood or cedar or something that looks good with a clear or the Helmsman spar urethane on it. I just don't do a lot of staining. I know a lot of you guys do.
Clarence Warner says, what do you think about the X-Carve?
The X-Carve is a CNC machine. I've heard really good things about it. I've never used one. I've never...
I've seen a couple of YouTube videos on them. They look like a
looks like a pretty decent machine. But there's a lot of good machines out there.
Okay, Susan Alexander wants to know if we'll put the finish in my Amazon store. Yes, I will, because I did buy it on Amazon. Bought one of them on Amazon. The Cricket Newbie channel says, we watch you all the time. Alan Arnold from Southwest Virginia and White Robin.
Well, thank you guys. We appreciate that.
The Cricket Newbie channel.
That's
Yeah.
quite a name.
Yeah.
That must be for the for that Cricket vinyl cutter.
Could be.
Yeah,
Or it could be they talk high pitched.
Or they could just go.
could be. They
Pearl,
wiggle their legs a lot.
Pearl X is the best color epoxy. I don't know. Okay.
Oh, never used it. Vicky
Jim-
knows a lot
Jim
more about
Skaggs
it than
says we need more of Vicky. Oh no, you don't. We're good.
I. We need more. of it. It sounds like Christopher Walken. More cowbell.
Oh, Lord, what?
It's an old Saturday Night Live
More
deal.
cowbell? Are you
Cowbell.
calling me a cow?
You guys, Saturday Night Live,
I
old
think
Saturday
you just
Night
called me
Live.
a cow, you guys.
No, cowbell.
All right,
You need more
Laura
cow-
Lacey said, had my first accident the other day, screwdriver through my hand.
Oh,
She
ouch.
said, but all good. Okay, you guys, more
Ouch.
questions? Anybody else have any questions?
Screwdriver through the hand. Ouch.
Yes, it
Was
is
it
the
electric?
Cricut vinyl cutter, but I do chirp.
Oh,
So both.
I think we all chirp just a little bit.
Yeah.
I've heard some nice things about that Cricut vinyl cutter.
Yeah. Yeah, I have too.
And I've seen some stuff like on YouTube and some craft items on
Uh-huh.
Etsy, and
And there's
I've always been tempted to buy one of those, but I just haven't had a really good use for it, so I haven't got one.
and there's different models. They coming out with new models all
Right,
the time.
right.
It's a pretty good machine from what I understand.
Dawn says, we're doing fine. Don't know when we'll be able to come out. I've been really busy.
Okay.
That's
all
good.
right.
That's good. Thickness of the wood for cutting boards. You mean the cutting board? Oh, for cutting boards. Duh. I thought she meant for like cutting board. I don't know.
It's about-
It's like,
It's probably inch and a quarter.
yeah,
I
no,
feel like
you
about
don't
an
want
inch
to
and a
go
quarter.
any less
A
than.
little over that.
Yeah, you want it to have some girth because it's going in your kitchen.
Yeah, that's probably inch and
Inch
inch
inch and a quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't go any less than that because you got to do a lot of sanding and So.
Yeah.
How much downward pressure do you use when carving?
As much
Pretty
as
much-
you need.
Pretty much the weight of the router. I don't think about pushing down. The weight of the router on the base plate is enough. Now my hands are on there as well, but I don't know.
When you have the router running and you drop the router bit into where you're curving, that's all you need.
Yeah.
You can only go so far, and it won't go any further.
Yeah.
So whatever your depth you've got set, when you drop into that and start carving, that's all the pressure you need. And main thing is to keep a couple of fingers on the knobs, on the handles, and keep a couple of fingers on the sign itself. And that way you have complete control of it. So
Well, and
you don't have to worry about downward pressure on that.
the other aspect is at any point in time, if I'm coming into a really tight spot and most of my bits are V-groove, if I'm coming into a tight spot and I need to lift that, if I'm thinking about downward pressure, then all of a sudden by the time I come into that really tight spot, like you're going to see on Monday's video, there's a couple places where I lifted the router base in order to get a really sharp point, like the bottom of this S, and there's different places here that I wanted to be able to actually lift the router base out at any point in time. So you don't want a lot of downward pressure.
No,
You want to be able to.
your router will hold the downward
Yeah.
pressure. The router motor will hold it down as far as it needs to.
Yeah,
go.
the gravity thing works pretty well.
Yeah.
The Circuit Newbie channel says Alan talked from Hope Depot about red cedar. It carves great. Alan must have talked to you, maybe. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Susan Alexander asked, "Can I tell by looking if my profile bit needs to be sharpened?"
Yes, I did a video on that. I don't know the number of it right now, but yes, if you get a magnifier or like I use the cheaters, and you take any bit that you have, especially the ones that we use, and you take and put really good light on it, and you just turn it. Look at the actual right on the cutting edge. If it looks like it's shiny, Dad taught me this when I was 15, 16 years old. If it's really shiny, right on the edge, not behind the edge, not in front of the edge, but right on the edge, if it looks like it's kind of got a shine to it, like it's really shiny, that means that microscopically it's kind of worn over. It's kind of rounded over a little bit. That is a really good indication that your bit is dull and needs to be sharpened.
Another easy way to tell is to take the cutting edge, wherever the cutting edge is, and drag it across your thumbnail or your fingernail. If you feel it actually peel up a little bit off your thumbnail, that means it's still sharp. If it just rides smooth on your thumbnail, that means it's getting dull.
There you go. 2 indications. And if your forearms are super worked out after you're done, it means you've been pulling really hard.
Okay, the Circuit Newbie channel
Ow.
says,
What? Did I kick you?
Yeah.
stop kicking your
Just
dad
kick
again.
my foot.
Well, I didn't hit your knee. Could have been worse.
I told you to quit beating up on him. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
So the Circuit Newbie channel says Alan has blue Appalachia signs. We're trying to get a business started and can't get views to our channel. How do you get views?
Wow. How do you get views to your channel? That is the $64,000 question right there.
To begin with, make just a short video. It doesn't have to be a long video, just a short video with great content. And then the more you do that, the more, when people go in and search for something, YouTube or Amazon will bring that up. But short YouTube videos with great content is the best way to get views.
Okay, here's 2 other tips. Titles, and I've just found this out over the last year or 2. By the way, we've been on YouTube now for...
Oh wait, she says page, not a channel.
Oh, a page.
YouTube
Not a
page?
YouTube page, well, YouTube page is a channel.
Okay.
And some people use different analogies. But your title is really important, and your thumbnail picture is really important. If you go on and look, and there's if you type in YouTube into the YouTube search, how do I get more views? You'll hear experts talking about tons of different ways to do it.
Page.
Oh, Facebook page. Facebook page. Well, good content is there as well. I really, honestly, I would Google that and I would YouTube that. Find out how to get more views and more awareness within the Facebook community.
Yeah, I don't do Facebook, so I don't know.
Yeah, I would YouTube that, honestly. We're not the best guys. We've been on YouTube for like 9,000 subscribers yet, and we've got over 800 videos. So, and there's guys that have been on YouTube for,
Somebody says
6
paid
months.
Ads.
Well, yeah, you can do paid ads.
That gets expensive.
That can get very expensive, yeah.
Yeah, be careful on paid ads. Try to get as much non-paid ads as you can. Just come up with great content. That's the main thing.
Yeah,
Things that you know that people are interested in, you put that on your page, and then people will come to it.
Good pictures too. Good
Yeah,
pictures.
good
Yeah, good
pictures,
pictures.
consistency, post all the time. Just keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. And then go to YouTube and look for strategies on how to improve your views within the Facebook.
Yeah, and good pictures on Pinterest that link back to your Facebook page would be a good way to do it. But it's like anything else. You have to start out and stay with it and build it up and believe in it and just put good content out there. And it may not come really fast, but it'll come to you. Don't worry about it.
All right, Aldridge Sambo, and I hope I get this right. It says, what will it cost me? What will it cost me to send me a beginner router bit set to Caraco?
We don't have a beginner router bit set.
Yeah.
You have to buy individual router bits.
But
Go ahead, Vicki.
well, you gotta send me an email with what you want to order, with your complete shipping address, and I will send you a quote, because we ship all international orders via DHL, and you guys pay exactly what we pay for the shipping, so I won't know until I know what you want to order and the size and weight of the package, and then I can get you a quote and email you back.
And as far as a beginning set, again, we don't have sets, come in groups. There's a couple different reasons for that. A lot of people already have some bits and they don't need, a whole set from us. And the other thing is we don't make very much money on our router bits. So the reason to put a set together generally would be that you would get them less expensive. And because our margins are really small on those, we can't discount them just because you buy a set of them. So there's just no reason for us to do a set. Now, if you want recommendations, profile bit, 90-degree bit, and 60-degree bit. I do 80 to 90% of all my carving with just those 3 bits.
All right. Judge FLA, whatever, like your description of how to test your router bits on your fingernail. He says, I use that technique for sharpening knives. So
Yeah, that's an old technique that machinists have used for years. It's just when you sharpen a carbide bit, first thing you do is you drag it on your fingernail to see what it feels like. So it's just an old machinist trick.
Laura Lacey says, I love the step-by-step instructions. Some just do videos with no explanation. The more detailed, the better, I think.
Well, thank you, Laura. I have been conflicted about that in the past because I see and hear a lot of YouTubers saying that videos have to be within 7, 8, 9 minutes. Heck, I can't hardly say hello that fast. Yeah, I try to go into as much detail. So some of our videos are long, but that's just, I don't know. I felt like that was, and I've asked you guys too. I felt like that's just me. That's me and Dad. That's just what we do.
When we first started, we started out, and our videos started out just to be a little newsletter. We just thought, well, we'll put out a little newsletter and let people know what we're doing. And we like to give, when we teach somebody to do something, whether they're in the shop or wherever it is, when we teach somebody to do something, we want them to know how to do it when we're done teaching them. And that's why we make the videos. We give you as much as we can. We may miss a little thing once in a while, but we try to make them as complete as we can.
Morgan Stoltz says, I remember the first time Dave and Eric went on YouTube many years ago.
Yes, yes, he does.
The Circuit Newbie channel, she said, thanks, great idea. Susan Alexander, they should go to the beginner playlist. It was invaluable to me when I started.
Thank you, Susan.
Serafino Ayala, where's a good site to get template printouts for sign shapes? Go to Google. You just gotta Google.
Google, type in sign.
That's where I get all my template shapes and everything else.
Well, we get some on Vector Stock, but that's a paid thing.
Place, Vector Stock.
But we pay for that.
If you go on vectorstock.com, yeah, you have to pay for them, but it's almost nothing.
$1 a piece. But sign shapes, if you want sign shapes, just Google in sign shapes. I've done that 100 times, and you'll see 100 million images, and you can put silhouette in there, and that's where I get mine.
Yeah, I like Vector Stock. Of all of the places that I go to get graphics for signs, Vector Stock is still my favorite.
That's where I got that skeleton skull.
Vector Stock?
Yeah. What's it true says, allowing the router to float while carving, how do you keep it from running off?
Well, that's control.
Right
That's where
there.
you got the handles. Okay.
And here's the thing. If you're having issues with that, it's one of two things. Either you've got the wrong router bits or you're carving the wrong kind of wood. If you take an old router bit that you picked up at Home Depot or Lowe's or a box store or maybe even some woodworking supplies and you're trying to carve a piece of construction Douglas fir that's been sitting outside for a year and it's full of water, I don't care who you are, you can't hold a straight line. So get the right wood and the right router bits. If you've got that, then most of the time it's just practice.
All right, so hold on. I'm going to do a couple more, then we're going to do the drawing for the shirt.
Oh, we haven't done that yet?
No. Jerome Bowman says the longer the video, the better. Susan Alexander says she agrees. Love longer videos.
Thank you, guys.
Charlie and Marlene Wooster?
Wooster. Yes, I know
Says,
that.
I've learned so much from your videos. The beginner playlist helped. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank
Our
you.
pleasure.
Thank you for
Long
watching.
videos are great. Love the tips and knowledge. Julio Santillano. Dave, Eric, the broom sign that you made a few years ago was great, but how do I carve in multiple layers?
Wow.
The broom sign. I don't recall it.
I don't remember it either.
Okay. All right.
But
with that.
how do you carve in multiple layers? One layer at a time. I don't do a lot of that. In fact, I don't do any of that really. It's just not, Cody Schroeder is the guy to ask. That guy is amazing when it comes to those. I'm not a fan of that multi-layer carving, but if I was to do it, and let's say you've got the name Brooms, I don't remember doing one Brooms, and then you've got the first names going across there. If I were to do that, I would carve the layer that's on top, that's sitting on top, I would carve that first. Then I would go and do the layer behind that. I would do that next.
Okay, RDT trailer. It's not Vector Soft, it's Vector Stock. VectorStock.com. VectorStock.com.
Yeah.
All right. He means the rocket H sign.
Oh, the rocket H sign. Oh, the guy that was talking about multiple layers.
Yeah.
And what was he?
How do you carve?
Oh, what I did with that, if you go back and watch the videos, I carved that. Oh, it wasn't broom, it was boom.
Oh.
The boom letters.
The boom.
The
maybe
boom.
Maybe I read it wrong.
Okay, now I know what he's talking about.
Well, that's what,
Yeah, that was what I just did
because
for
you had
Drew.
overlay letters on
Yeah.
that.
So what I did was I
Oh,
carved.
he did say boom. I'm sorry. I said broom. That was my bad.
All right, so
I gotta have air. So
the
it's gonna
boom
be-
letters I carved separate, and go watch the video on it, and then I applied those to the board that I had already carved.
Yeah,
So then it was
those were just loose letters.
yeah.
All right, we gotta do
Laser
this.
cut overlay letters.
No, they weren't laser cut, Dad. I cut them with a router.
Well,
Yeah.
but it's like overlay letters anyway.
Yeah, they were overlay letters, but I cut them with a profile bit actually
Yeah.
out of 1/4 inch birch. Anyway,
Okay.
go back. There's videos on it.
So, pick a number between 1 and 50.
Me,
Yeah,
28.
28. All right, guys, bear with me. I gotta go way back up here. Remember, the number's 28. So,
28.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Oh man, I gotta start over because it screen flipped crazy on me. Hold on. Sorry guys.
Better you than me.
Yeah, I know. What can I say? Somebody else has already got it figured out, I'm sure. Alright. Let me make sure. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Greg Bidey.
Greg Bybee.
Okay.
Gregg. Double
G-R-E.
two G's. Yeah.
B-Y-D-E-E.
Now, Greg, if you want me to sign this shirt, let me know. Otherwise, I won't sign it.
Okay.
All right, so Greg, congratulations. Greg, do you want Dave to sign it for you? Yes, please.
Yes.
He has very neat writing. All right, we've got a few more
Okay.
minutes. Does anybody
So-
else have any more questions?
I'll talk a little bit about
I want to recount.
who said that.
Sorry, Bill. He was smiling.
So this next week, Vicky and I are leaving town on Wednesday. I've already got videos. This last week has been hectic. I got
Crazy.
4 videos lined up. So they'll all be posting Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the following Monday. I got 4 of them done, and they'll be posting on time. So, but Vicky and I. But remember, and I can't remember whether they've heard this or not. From Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, for those 5 days, we won't be shipping anything. There will be no shipping. So if you guys order, just understand that that period of time, that following Monday, a week from Monday is Columbus Day, I
Columbus
think.
Day.
So it's a holiday. There's nothing. We'll be back on Sunday, but because there's no shipping on
They
Monday.
think I can't handle it. They think I can't get out in the shop and ship.
So
No, we
there will be
can't.
no shipping. Yeah. Anyway, there'll be no shipping from Thursday through Monday of next. So just so you guys know,
Yeah, we have to go to California.
we got things we got to do in California. So that's what's going on there. Next month, I'm not sure whether we're going to do a live training session or not. Normally, November, December, the last 2 months, we don't do a live training session because of the holidays and all that. I haven't decided yet. We might not do one in October. We'll kind of play that by ear, but we'll let you know in the next couple weeks. What else? What else do we need to cover?
Let's see what. How long will it take to get my router bits back if I send them in to get sharpened? As
Well-
soon as we get them, we send them out the next day.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
always go out the next day, and if you're in the U.S., it's 2 or 3 days at the most.
Once a week.
We ship everything
Yeah.
priority mail. If it goes out of the country, of course, it's going to take longer. But
Not necessarily. DHL gets stuff
DHL
normally faster than.
gets stuff
across
sometimes
the country.
within 4 or 5 days. They'll just up to Ireland.
But we ship the next business day unless for whatever reason we're out of town. But that very rarely happens. Next week it is going
Right.
to happen. But
Okay, Drew Deshone says, how deep does the sanding sealer usually penetrate the wood, and how much can I sand it before it's gone?
I've never measured it, honestly, Drew. It normally sets on top. It raises the grain, and then once I sand it with my belt sander, it's all gone, and that's what I want. I only use sanding sealer on pine, and that's only to keep the black from bleeding into the grain. So once I do my layout and then spraying my black, and then I sand it off with my belt sander, all the sanding sealer is at that point, it's gone, which is what I want.
Yeah, which is sanding sealer is just to make sure that that the surface of the wood is sealed up, and that's what it does. And you got maybe 5,000s, not any more than that. The sanding sealer just stays on top of the wood.
All right, Heldero Santos from Tulare says, good morning.
Good
Tulare.
morning.
We're going to be right down the street
We're going to
from
be,
you
yeah,
next
we're,
week.
we're going to Manteca, Escalon.
Let's see, have a safe trip, hope it's enjoyable.
Merle Haggard writes about the Tulare dust.
Let's see. Great LTS.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Okay, we're gonna got a few minutes. So,
Yeah.
anything else you want to say?
What
What are you going to be doing future projects?
I've got a couple more ideas on different things. I've got maybe a new alternative for color that I'm playing with right now. So you guys will see that coming up. I've got several different demos and different things that I want to do. But if you guys have ideas, I'm always open. If you guys want to see something specific that I haven't done or haven't done in a while, I want to redo all of I want to do another Live to Ride sign. We did that so many years ago that I really want to do the Live to Ride series. I want to do that sign again on camera and
That's a
kind of
good
update
idea.
it.
Yeah.
I've been
We
wanting to
still
do
get
that for a
people that
while.
want the old layout template
Yeah.
with the
So I want to do that sign again in a series of videos. Probably won't take, I think we did 7 to begin with, but it won't take near that much. I'm a little bit better, we're a little bit better. So I want to redo that. That's definitely something I've got coming up.
All right, we got time for another question. Does anybody else have a question? I hope I didn't miss any, but who knows, I might have.
Yeah.
If not, we're gonna say goodbye, Gracie. We got
Okay.
a minute, so
All right.
we
So,
have.
oh, somebody's writing something.
You're gonna have to tie Dave down while you're gone. Well.
Yeah. Well, the phone. Rachel is going to be here to cover during business hours, so we'll be answering the phone, and I'll be checking my email every day. So we'll be in touch. Vicky and I won't be here, but Dad and Rachel will be holding the fort down. We just don't want to have any shipping during
Real
those
quick
days.
question from Susan Alexander. If you
Yeah.
don't have sanding sealer, can you spray a coat of regular sealer?
Yeah, I think you can. I think you could probably use just about any kind of a spray that will kind of seal that board up temporarily while you throw your black on that. I don't know. I haven't tried everything. I've tried the Krylon acrylic, and it seems to work pretty well in as a replacement for the sanding sealer. So I think you can, Susan. But don't do it first on a customer sign. Test it before you do it on a customer sign. Always experiments. Always test first.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
All right, we're
Thanks,
done.
you guys. Thanks
Okay.
for watching.
That's it. Bye, guys. Thanks so
We'll
much.
see you on the next one, whenever it is.
Love you all. Have a great one. Bye.